right. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. It is a great morning to roll over in bed and pull the covers back over you. So appreciate you all throwing the covers back and moving back and getting here. So we are here this morning at the Center for Spiritual Living, Central Texas, where we think more expansively, love more completely, and live more joyously. Yay. All right. I'd like to thank Clark for a wonderful meditation on spiritual practice, which is a good thing. And we have good things plenty coming your way now. So let's start by saying our opening affirmation on the top of page 4 in our program. And it says, we believe that there is an infinite power and wisdom that creates everything. We are expressions of the same power and wisdom. The thoughts, beliefs, and expectations we entertain with the most energy become our experience of life. When we change our energy and our attention, our experience changes to match. All right, let's see what goes on over there. And a couple of quick announcements. We have no birthdays on the list. Anybody? All right.
Today is Barbara Nesbitt's birthday.
Happy birthday, Barbara Nesbitt. She shares this day with Alexander Hamilton and William James, who both had some good ideas. Albert Hoffman, not a household name, but he was the scientist that first put together LSD and first ingested it. So, yay, dude. It is in an altered state. Slim Harpo, Clarence Clemens of the saxophone and Bruce, Naomi Judge, Lee Rittenauer, the great jazz guitarist, and Robert Earl Keen himself. Happy birthday to all of y'all. Book group will start again soon. We do have our themes for 2026 list. It's over here on the counter. So vote for your top 3 and turn it back in to us. You can email your top 3 or whatever, and we'll get it. We'll correlate that and figure out what to do about that. All right. And our annual meeting will be in 2 weeks, the 25th. As you can see, we are quickly being renovated out of this space, so we are open to entertaining things. And I thought maybe you could send a thing out to all the musicians and ask if they know of a place that's not used on a Sunday morning that we might not be aware of. That, you know. Otherwise, we're coming over to Emily's house. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'd like to invite Clark to come up and open reading and treatment.
Thank you, Walt. Today's reading comes from Edgar Casey, and it's on prayer. He says, when you pray, you're not sending messages across space to a distant deity. You're aligning your wave consciousness with ocean consciousness. Prayer isn't changing God's mind, because all mind is not separate. Prayer changes your mind by aligning with divine mind. That sense of presence you feel isn't God visiting you, but you're recognizing the God you always were. The peace within you rises not from above, but from within, when you stop creating the turbulence of separation. Wise words. And we can trust that as we take this into our inner space, our inner knowingness, recognizing that presence that surrounds us, indwells us, is our beingness in which we have our life, our movement, and our being. It is all-knowing, for we have heart and mind, both centers of divine consciousness and awareness that we can hone to a brilliance, a diamond-faceted brilliance of illumination and clarity and knowing, because it's all there within us. That kingdom of heaven that we seek is within us. And that's what we seek first, because everything else follows that. And this presence is also the only true power that there is, lest the mind and thought give power to some other sense of urgency or whatever it may be. There is only one power. Let it flow unhindered throughout your form, unhindered, because it is all that there is. It is your power to claim, to recognize, to allow and accept, and be receptive to. And I declare that we are that, a part of that power. For we have a corresponding spiritual equivalent that represents itself here on this plane, this physical form. All form is physical, is spiritual, is spirit presence, whether organic or inorganic. It's all created from the same source as we are it. So I give thanks that that is the truth. I give thanks that our word has power because it's another form of energy, moving another form of energy called law, directing it for a specific purpose. Let us never forget this. For some of it, maybe a big part of it is subconscious thoughts that still move the law. We just need to be aware of that so we can change it to better, to more loving, whatever, the positive. Let us keep this in mind and give thanks for that. Let's give thanks for all the metaphysical laws that are in action upon our word. And with that, I release this, knowing that speaking puts it in law. And that law corresponds perfectly, consistently, to what we give it. And this is our salvation. Thank you, thank you. So with gratitude and love, I release this word completely, and let us say together, and so it is now. All right, thank you. And without further ado, we're going to get right into our music today. So let's welcome Emily Shirley, shall we? All right.
Thank you for having me. This song is called Eyes in the Dark. I am lost in the dark. How did I come so far? Just to lose all sense of direction. Show me a star, a flicker from a spark, just a little light for protection. Move through the forest, move through the trees, the sun goes down, I fall to my knees. Coyotes in chorus, they're coming for me. I'm down on the ground. Don't forget to breathe was looking for courage. I was looking for love, looking for the moment when life fit like a glove. Maybe the truth is we don't ever fit in, and soon as we get there, right back where we began. Move through the forest, move through the trees, the sun goes down, I fall to my knees. Coyotes in chorus, they are coming for me, I'm down on the ground. Don't forget to breathe, eyes in the dark. I am a stranger here, the path has disappeared. I cannot see them, but they see me. Move through the forest, move through the trees, the sun goes down, I fall to my knees. Coyotes in chorus, they are coming for me, I'm down on the ground. Don't forget to breathe, eyes in the dark.
Coyote's coming for you.
Amen.
Thank you, Emily. That's great. All right. She will be back shortly, but first, a message from our sponsors. What's heavy forward but not backwards? A ton. You have to think about that. Did you hear about the restaurant on the moon? Great food, no atmosphere. Please stop.
That's the
All right. The title of my talk today, oh my God, is he just getting started? Yes, I am just getting started, but then so are you just getting started. Because we're all just getting started, because we start again each day, each moment even. And we start again and again, and then, you guessed it, again. We're eternally starting a new perception, a new approach, a new engagement, a new enjoyment of life with each new moment. Now, traditionally in January or on some particular significant anniversary, we tend to make a bigger deal out of observing and celebrating the starting over of some block of time. But science is starting to tangibly show us things about time that are challenging our linear perception and paradigm of what time is and how time works. I love looking at the pictures of the nebulae and different things in space. And when I look at those vibrant pictures and the fabulous, amazing clusters of matter, time is not the first thing that comes to mind. It's usually more wonder and amazement at the structure itself and different expressions of it, but also the distance and the expansiveness of those formations. And science is doing what science always does. It's not only challenging our paradigm of time, but it's also starting to challenge our paradigm of distance itself. That's a little too deep for us to get into much further this morning, other than to make the point that our paradigms are always shifting and changing. No matter how collectively agreed upon they may be, no matter how long and how firmly they've been held. Our paradigms are always subject to change. And, well, let's check that. Our paradigms always are changing as we gather more data, whether that gathering is individual or collective. And they are changing as we personally experience more of that data collection, however that collection happens to happen. So we're always starting over, and we're always adjusting and recreating our paradigms of everything as we go and we keep going. And those are two very important things to remember. So I put them in your notes in your program, but I also want us to affirm them together. So we'll be starting over in this next block of time from a similar place and perspective. Here we go. Participation time. Another one, and a two, and a three. I am always starting over. I am always starting over. And I am always adjusting my paradigm of everything. I am always adjusting my paradigm of everything. Good, let's go to lunch. You got it. Now, back to the title of my talk. Oh my God, he is just starting over. Yeah, but remember, we're always just getting started because of what we just collectively affirmed together. We're always starting over. The title of my talk this morning is How Life Really Works. And that's, I'll admit it, it's a good bit audacious and presumptuous, and it can sound like I have definitive answers. And it's a tall order to stand up here and promote and pronounce a few things that have become answers for me through the process of always starting over and through the process of always adjusting my paradigm of everything. As I told you last week, and I'll probably tell you next week because it's a recurring theme for me lately, we are always starting over, yeah, but we always start over with the benefit of our previous data and wisdom. All the different ways we've collected it, that data and wisdom, both individually and collectively. Now, in our review of these first 4 chapters of our wonderful Science of Mind textbook, and we call it a textbook for a specific reason, so that we will look at it as a eternal source of learning instead of approaching it as some holy revelation. Yeah, it is a revelation of his research into different revelations in multiple different fields of study, particularly science, philosophy, and religion. Besides, you all remember the song, everything is holy in its own way. Some adaptation on my part. But who was that, Ray Stevens or something? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Moving on.
No, that's guitars, guitars.
Dr. Holmes was adamant that this textbook be seen and used as a starting point of a much bigger and a much larger and longer discussion. Besides, as we just affirmed together, I'm always starting over and I'm always adjusting my paradigm. And we start, as we affirm something over and over and return to that idea, we start to understand it at a deeper and more meaningful level, starting to see how true and transformative it is, and it can continue to be. Like any good big idea, we just use it as a starting point from where we are this time, on this engagement and this experience and this exploration of that big good idea. Where will this engagement and this deeper dive take us this time? Wherever it chooses to take us. And that's not nearly as important as the practice of returning to the engagement of a good big idea, which is a valuable part of our regular spiritual practice. So, how many of you read the first chapter of the introduction, the thing itself? Thousands of hands go up. I love it. I joke every time that Dr. Holmes knew that some of you just wouldn't have the time. Don't even get me started on that one, or we'll be here till dinner. He knew that you might miss the opportunity to read the material. To allow you to catch up on your assignment pace, he made this next chapter, second chapter, only 5 pages instead of the 10 pages of the other 3 are. Okay? He helps us remember, starting out, the realization that good is universal and that as much good as any individual is able to incorporate into his life is his to use. any amount of good that we can incorporate into our life. And what does it mean to incorporate, to embody, to bring it into ourselves, our sense of self, our identity? So the real question becomes, what level of good are we aware of? Do we believe is available and obtainable by us right here, right now? Yet another promise of life is that as we start over in each of these moments, as we expand our field of possibility, life never withholds anything from us. No matter what the prevalent paradigms promoted may be, and may say otherwise. Life never withholds anything from us. Our part in the creative equation of life really boils down to working on removing the limited beliefs that obscure and obstruct our awareness and engagement of the greater good that is omnipresent. Whether those limited beliefs are internal or external, they can still obstruct and obscure our awareness and engagement of that greater good. Now, last week he reminded us that we do not create laws and principles, but we discover and make use of them. Okay? And this week he repeatedly clarifies that we make use of them at the level of our belief and understanding of them. We make use of something at our level of belief and understanding about it. No different than anything else that we discover and use in our life. The more we believe in the existence of, the availability of, and our capacity to successfully engage something, the more of it we find to engage, and the more successful we are at the engagement of it. This is really the way life works. And then we look out at life around us, and the expressions of life around us, and it's easy to be distracted and confused, or dazed and confused is where I was going, by all the different varieties of the different forms, the different colors, the different expressions that life takes. Yet there are enough similarities to see how everything and everyone is really related to each other. Now, I was out going about my business this week, and I saw someone this week that looked exactly like someone I used to know. And it looked enough like him that I spoke up and I said, "Danny?" And the person did not respond until they figured out I was speaking directly to them. And they affirmed that no, they were not Danny. Okay? But they looked exactly like him. They even moved and acted like him. Okay? That's why I spoke up. And what we see is there's all this variety and there's all this similarity. And science confirms that we are from and of the same star stuff. Holmes tells us there is one spirit back of everything, all expression. So that means that we are all of spirit. We are all divine. Divine, meaning of the vine, okay? All of the same vine, individualizing it, and growing out and spreading out into infinity. Yet all too often we forget how much of the Spirit we really are. He goes on, he says, "Hence we shall find a better God when we shall have arrived at a higher standard for man." Because what is our version of God, the beginning versions of God that we started with, but a superhuman-sized version of ourselves? And why is that always changing? Because we are always adjusting our what? Paradigms. Not regular spiritual. You have different lines. And I'm just checking and reaffirming because we're always starting over. Somebody got it. That's good. That's good. Getting it? Got it? Good. Think about this. The seed has a paradigm of enclosure, right? And then it has to break that paradigm to release that previous paradigm in order for it to grow and flourish and express its full potential. Same with us. And the more we remind ourselves and each other about the omnipresence of spirit, the more we'll tune into the infinite, and the easier it is for us to expand our mental and then our emotional and our physical engagement and enjoyment of all that life is eternally offering us. See, our true job security originates from the infinite being greater than any one definition, understanding, or experience of it. There's always more to grow and expand out into. A common problem that we all have to some degree at different times is that we look too far away for our reality, for our power, for ourselves, thinking and developing the paradigm that our answer, our good, is out there somewhere. And that's both the cause of and the solution to our suffering, which is never cosmically designed, only personally experienced. Yet another benefit of the way life works, that as soon as we change our belief, which changes our perspective, our identity, and our expectations, that's the second steps, as soon as we change that belief, right then and there, life responds to that new choice immediately. So the question really becomes, how flexible are we being with the ideas and beliefs that make up our perspective, our identity, and our expectations? How many elements of those things are just kind of been hanging around out of familiarity instead of really being of benefit to us? Because remind yourself and each other that our paradigm is always changing. He goes on, he says, life uses what it created to express more of itself. Life created us. Life is using us, as it were, to express more of itself. That's how life really works. He says, the thing works for us by working through us and is us always. Thank goodness, if you really think about the bigger picture, thank goodness that we don't have to create matter and principle and laws and processes and procedures. That's all done prior to our arrival. We just have to discover and make use of it, which deepens our awareness and our understanding of them, which makes us more comfortable engaging them, which cycles back upon itself over and 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 over. Thank you, Chrissy. I got it. We see things happen over and over again. We notice patterns happening in the world around us. We notice patterns happening in ourselves, in our mental activity, in our responses and reactions and stuff. And we see all that as an expression of life. And we start to rely upon the repetition of those patterns. And with each repetition, we begin to trust life, the way life is working, more and more. And that brings us a sense of peace of mind, which is what we're all ultimately really after in the end anyway. That's why we do all the things we do. So at the end of the day, we can relax in our current level of understanding of life, of ourselves, and of each other. I think what happens is we get a little glimpse of life, a little understanding of ourselves. And I don't know about you, but as that happens for me, I often hear myself wondering, oh my God, OMG, how could I have missed this all this time? It was right there in front of me the whole time. Right there, man. What was I thinking? To which I have begun to reply to myself, I was thinking whatever I was thinking at the time, which, just like what I'm thinking now, determines what I believe about life, about myself, what else is possible. And I will respond the same way with the incredulousness of it later on as I review how I'm thinking and feeling and being right now. Even a most recent revelation, that is the epiphany that parts the clouds and lets the James Earl Jones voice come down in the sunshine, all that's going to seem limited later on in its own way. Holmes shares, we cannot recognize that it is not while we take two. We cannot recognize that it is while we are believing that it is not. And the same thing is true about our recognition and experience of anything else in our life. Prosperity, health, love, power, peace, beauty, joy. We can't complain that these things are not, these things are lacking in our life, for that is our level of belief and understanding. And we can't do that, complain about it, and then wonder why it becomes our experience if they're not around. Yet the eternal promise of life is that as soon as we change our belief and understanding about the existence of, the proximity of, the availability of, all those different expressions of good, right then and right there, at that new level of belief, that becomes our experience. For as long as we maintain and keep maintaining the more expansive version and keep expressing it, expanding it outward and upward. Because, as Holmes tells us, our belief sets the limit to our demonstration of a principle which of itself is without limit. So it's not a question of its willingness nor its ability, it's entirely a question of our own receptivity. Life fills the form we provide, and it leads us to experience a life of abundance or poverty. It leads us to experience a life of love or loneliness, joy or sadness. He says, when consciousness speaks, the law receives and executes. So whatever we think and speak and feel and believe and do and expect, that is the form we are providing for life to fill and respond to. And as soon as we alter or completely change the form, life immediately fills and responds to that new form. It doesn't go back and fill the form we previously provided, unless we keep bringing it up. I want you to play a little game with me. Yeah? The next time someone asks you who you are or what you do, we always get that. What do you do? Respond with this little ditty. I am a thinking, willing, conscious center of life. I am surrounded by, immersed in, and there is flowing through me a creative something, call it what you will. The sum total of all my thought, will, purpose, and belief creates a tendency in this law that causes it to react to me according to the sum total of my belief. Now, it's a little long, but it'll do one of two things. It will either clear out the competition at the shrimp part of the buffet, or it will start a wonderful conversation that will lead to something even greater. The cool thing about life operating as love through law is that we don't have to locate or placate or communicate with a sky god off in parts unknown. It just works how it really works. It works the way it really works, whether we figure it out or not. It just works how it really works. And the further cool thing about life being infinite in all its expressions and being omnipresent is that whenever we create some limitation in our mind, we can change it without waiting for life to decide or approve of the shift. We learn to reseed our garden instead of beating and condemning the soil. The question comes up, okay, if we create our life, just how much can we demonstrate? The answer would be, ding, ding, ding. Just what we can believe. He says, how much can we see? How much can we accept? How much can we find in our consciousness that is no longer repudiated by our own denials? Whatever that is, that much can we have. So the four omnis of life, of spirit, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, omniactive, are so important because they each disclose the limits of our thinking, believing, and expecting. Life gives and gives, and life provides all necessary for the complete unfolding of our desire without judgment, without permission, and without the need for adulation. It just does exactly what it does, how it does, right here and now, and right there and then. So let's do what Holmes suggests. Let us begin to accept today more good than we experienced yesterday. Because when we come into the day with that expectation, when we show up with that identity, that today I am expecting and accepting today more good than I experienced yesterday, that becomes the form we are providing, and that is the form that life will fill immediately. Remember this, my friends, that as high as we shall make our mark in mind and in spirit, so high shall be its outward manifestation in our material world. So make your mark as high as you can. Borrow a step stool if you have to reach higher. And then life will respond with what we give it to work with and provide ideas and opportunities and experiences and interactions that match whatever mark we make. This morning we have made our mark a notch higher. And life is responding to that here and now, to that higher placement. And it feels good because we're recognizing this pattern, feeling more confident about the reliability of life's response and deepening our awareness and understanding, increasing and expanding what we are contributing to collective mix, which always benefits us, yes, but it benefits all those around us at the exact same time. And so it is now. It's all around. Let's look at our weekly affirmation, which is on the top of page 6, or on the little cards by the door. And say this together to come together in consciousness further. And it says, life works the way it works, whether I figure it out or not. I invest my time and resources into paying attention, learning the patterns, and relaxing into what is mine to do. I focus on the what and the why of my desire, and life takes care of and provides everything necessary. All right. So let's give ourselves the gift of our good attention. Take a deep breath or two, or close your eyes, or reposition your physical form, and allow yourself just to be exactly as you are, which is perfect, whole, complete, and dynamic. In this moment, be exactly what and how and who you are. And all the things that have happened before, good, bad, and indifferent, that have gotten you here to this moment with this level of awareness and understanding, which is exactly what you need to do, need to have, to engage this moment as you start over and decide where you move on to from here, how this moment is and what you're creating to set up the next moment. You realize that life works exactly the way it works. Sometimes we understand it, sometimes we don't seem to. Sometimes we remember, sometimes we forget, sometimes we get it at a deep and profound level, and sometimes we have no clue. Yet life continues to work exactly as it works. So our time is best invested, our time and our resources are best invested into paying attention, learning the patterns, and relaxing into what is ours to do. Because what is ours to do is to get limited ideas and thinkings and beliefs and identities and expectations out of the way, whether those are internally generated or externally accepted, and become internal. Get them out of the way of that divine flow of life. Focus on the what and the why of our desire. Remember that life provides everything else. The how, the when, the who. All the rest of it is already provided for us as we get going. We love this wonderful teaching in all the ways it shows up in our lives and reminds us of these spiritual principles that we're engaging and living in the midst of all day long, all life long. We discover and make use of these laws and principles at the level of our belief and understanding, and the more we engage them and recognize them and utilize them and apply them, the more reliable we realize they have always been, they are right now, and they always will continue to be. And the more we relax into the being in this moment as we need to be in this moment, because we have all we need to express the divine more completely and authentically than ever before. We love this community of like-minded individuals that love and support each other in all the ways we get to do that. We love this life and this day and this beautiful time together this morning as we take this moment, appreciate it, deep joy and gratitude, appreciate and celebrate the good that we've made our mark as high as it is, knowing that life responds to that from balance of whatever we give it to work with. Loving it all, we release it completely into the law, knowing that it is already responding with new opportunities and new interactions and new engagements and possibilities that match this greater and higher mark. Loving it, releasing it, we say together. And so it is now. All right. And now we come to the part of our time together where we support this wonderful work we're doing together. We take the value we receive from the world for the value we bring to the world and pass that along with love and appreciation. As we do, let's say our giving affirmation together. And it says, divine love consecrates my gifts. They go forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper. They are evidence of my commitment. They do their good and perfect work in return to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is now. And Emily's going to play another couple songs for us. Are you performing somewhere we can sing?
Oh, good question. Sister Golden. Yes, Sister Golden Hair, which is, for anybody who doesn't know, a cover band, all songs from the 60s and 70s. And I do that with Barbara Nesbitt and Wendy Colonna, who are frequent visitors here with you all. That we will be at the Saxon Pub on Tuesday, January 20th. Yes.
At what time?
8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And that's always fun.
Good.
Join us if you can. Could everyone hear everything okay last time? Piano voice, everything? This is a song that's a new song since I've been here last, I think. But I think it speaks to Walt's bullet point number 2. We start over with the benefit of all of our previous wisdom. The song is about leaving something behind and taking what you
I could
learned.
use that much more piano.
Okay. Taking what you learned from that experience and moving it to something better. It's called Flowers in a Vase. Sometimes you just have to do it. You gotta walk through the fire to know you lived through it. The scars from the burns are all lessons to learn. The truth that won't soon be forgotten. 'Cause now you know what love is not. There's a strength that you find when you're lost. A compass built from the battles you fought. It goes from those days linger at the feet, guiding your steps on the way, mapping the new path you've paved, blowing all the way. A house made of cards and the life that we made, photos in a box. All we have left are the life that we lost. Flowers in a vase, our story fades away. Someone was bound to get hurt. It was a long time coming, but I said it first. 'Cause this life is short, forget wrong, forget right. And go chase the stars through the endless night. 'Cause now you know what love is not. Blow it all away. A house made of cards and the life that we made, photos in a box. All we have lived in a life that we lost. Flowers in a vase, our story fades away. makes the dark corners and fills empty holes. You stood in the ruins on unsteady feet. Where you stand now, a hopeful heart beats. 'Cause now you know what love is like. Hold on to that love that you've got and blow it all away. A house made of cards of a life they made. Photos in a box. All we have left of life you lost. Flowers in a vase. Our story fades away. Our story fades away. One more? We have time for one more? Okay. So this song is for fun. It is called Colorado, and I wrote it, I believe, 4 years ago.
I was hoping you were doing this today.
You were 4 years ago, when it was 82 degrees on the day after Christmas, which isn't all that different from what we had this year and every year. It's about going on a search for snow. It's the day after Christmas. We already put away the ornaments and took down the tree, pulled it out to the yard in 82 degrees. It'd be nice to find some cold air. It'd be nice to find winter somewhere. In my mind, December should be cold. Where should we go to find some snow? Oh, oh, oh. Pack your bags, pack up the car, and the dog, and your guitar. We're going to Colorado. Pack your bags, pack up the car, pack the dog, yeah, pack it all. We're going to Colorado. I'll sleep while you drive, then I'll drive through the night. I'm 45 through 25. We'll watch the sun rise in the blazing sky, all orange and red and blindly driving eyes. 1,000 miles and 13 hours driving west along the open road. We cross from Texas to New Mexico, and we feel the temperature sink low, 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 low. Pack your bags, pack up the car, pack the dog, and your guitar. We're going to Colorado. Pack your bags, pack up the car, pack the dog, yeah, pack it all. We're going to Colorado. And it's more than a relief to leave it all behind. In the build up to the Hallmark holiday, peace and joy can be a little hard to find. Pack your bags, pack up the car, feed the dog, and your guitar. We're going to Colorado. Pack your bags, pack up the car, pack the dog, yeah, pack it all. We're going to Colorado. Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, oh, we're going to Colorado. Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, oh, we're going to Colorado. So that's a good idea.
I don't, but there's only 6 degrees in Kevin Bacon.
That's right.
Have you tried emailing it?
I did when I first wrote the song,
I
actually.
think it's time to send it in.
Try again. Is that,
I do it every month until they respond.
That's what I should do.
all right, well, thank you again.
Strong supporters of independent music in Austin. It's really awesome.
It's so difficult.
It's a pleasure to be here every time.
Well, thank you. We're glad you're sharing your gifts with us. All right. Please, actually, let's just hand these out so we don't get the list on the way out. Take one and pass it on. Thank you. Pass them that way. Pass them. All right. This will be our voting. Just choose your top 3 and turn it back in, or email your top 3. And we'll get going for that. I do have a question for the book study. There's been a request to change it to Wednesday instead of Thursday night. Does that affect anybody's attendance or ability to participate? Speak. I know how you vote. But, okay. Check TV guide. You gotta check the TV guide and see what's on Wednesday night. I have no idea. That's why you check the TV guide. All right. So good. All right. Yeah. There was one year where my son. We moved here when he was in 4th grade, I want to say. And it's like the snow would come, stop at Waco, stop and somewhere out west, and so we eventually one day it was like, today, get in the car, we're gonna go drive till we see snow. And we did it, and it was a couple of 3 hours, you got somewhere where you could see some snow, so it was good. So that I relate to that. Anyone else have something you're grateful for? Okay.
Well, I'll add something. We're about to foster another dog. And, we're grateful that we have the space and the means and the love to do that. And it's a female who's just been spayed. And she has sort of promised maybe to someone eventually. No?
I have a friend who lost her dog. I don't know if she's ready for one or not.
Okay.
So if anyone knows that she's about 2 years old, and
Beautiful girl.
Cool.
Yeah. So.
What do you got for your love and spread your
What kind of dog?
I don't know dogs type. I can show you.
Small little.
It's a medium size.
She's about 50 pounds. It's one of those turd.
It looks a little colored like a Weimaraner-ish around the nose area, but she's more reddish than that, I think. Weimaraners are kind of grayish and brownish.
Well, thank you for fostering all these dogs. That's great.
Here she is too.
Don't show her to me because I want
Don't bring that box of puppies over here.
Yes.
Or your box of kittens, I don't know.
Here's a really cute
But wait, Terry, you can't,
You can't get the full.
you're not getting out of here without looking at that.
Probably not.
It's free to get in, but you gotta look at the dog to get in.
She's been living in a junkyard.
Oh, stop, Josephine, please. I get this on Facebook constantly, and I'm like, I'm not gonna adopt that thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's look at your opportunity for application in your life. When was the last time you reviewed and made significant changes to your paradigm and identity? Life responds immediately, so the sooner you start, the sooner we all benefit. Do it for the children. All right. Next week, I will be running from gate Gateway Shopping Center to Red River and 11. So I will not be here, but Clark has agreed to come in and talk about the second coming of Christ. And why don't you say something about that?
Well, I plan for it not to be so much a talking to everyone and a lecture style thing, but more of a Socratean kind of interaction and getting people's ideas around that. I mean, I have a structure and an outline, to keep it on track. But I really want this to be more interactive and give everybody a chance to give a perspective on it, especially where our community is, applies to that. Because from what I've all gathered from my research and stuff, we are essentially it. Humankind, is essentially it. Not so much a physical descent from the clouds, but an arising from within our own consciousness.
Is that it with a capital M?
It with a capital, that's right. So, I'm gonna leave it right there, and just please come, everybody, they can hear me. Please come, because it'll be fun, it'll be engaging, interesting, and hopefully enlightening.
You bringing the hemlock?
You're gonna give me hemlock like Socrates, is that? Thanks, Al.
Very good. Anybody else? All right. Well, I am grateful for all of you and all that y'all bring to the party and the continuation of the party. So yay God for that. Okay, so it sounds like there's no aversion to Wednesday night, so we'll plan on that. That'll narrow down the start time for our next book study. And again, 2 weeks, as we've talked about, the Q is finishing the renovation. This room is turning into a gymnasium or a workout space or whatever they're going to call it. So we are looking for new space starting probably in March, but it may get accelerated. We don't know. Or it may last through June. We don't know, but at least we need to start looking for.
Have they looked at the other, the campus yet?
They're checking on that and they're getting back with me as far as who has another conference room.
I'm happy to go make some calls.
Well, their regional manager is, that's who he's talking to, so I will check back with him. Good idea. All right, let's say our closing affirmation as we get ready to stop right on perfect timing. Time for lunch. And it's on page 7 and it says, I am an expression of infinite divine creative intelligence. Knowing a joyful serenity awaits my recognition and acceptance, I take this moment to deepen my understanding that I am perfect, whole, complete, and dynamic. My soul is forever established in life, love, light, power, peace, beauty, and joy. I lift my eyes to the divine in me and those around me and in all of life. I walk out into the world with an uplifted heart and a mind open to the infinite creativity of all life. And so it is now. All right, thank you very, very much, and we'll see you next time. That is your ballot. Pay 106 a week. So some months it's 424, some